This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitute for medical, financial, legal, or professional advice. Views expressed are personal and may not reflect any organization.
Welcome to Mindsattva, practical wisdom for modern life. I'm Dr. Mitika Kanabar. I'm an everyday seeker, a curious thinker, and a lifelong learner. Have you ever had those conversations where you thought, this needs to be explored a little bit more? Maybe it's about spirituality. Maybe it's about finding that one thing that helps you bring balance in your life. Mindsattva is your space. It's your community where we all come together and develop this. Through conversations with guests, we will explore ideas about clarity and about living in balance. Balance is the beginning point. It's not the destination. Every episode is an invitation to think differently, to live fully, and begin again. Namaste. Welcome to Mindsattva, practical wisdom for modern life. I'm your host, Dr. Mitika Kanabar, with another episode of In the Flow series. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about a growth mindset in a different way than you would presume. So first of all, let me tell you what inspired me today. So you see this plant here. It's part of my studio since I started with this space. Well, here is what I found today. I don't know if you can see. I'll need to turn it around a little bit. You see this? This is a new shoot, just came up. Now, I'm new to indoor plants. I don't know what it is that I'm doing with them, but they're surviving, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm much of an outdoor plant person, but these plants have been kind to me, and they have survived. And now I have a new shoot growing from the plant, which is beautiful. So I'm so happy. So let's talk about growth and certain ways in which it can show up in your life. Sometimes it is getting some new information, new knowledge, new opportunity that we may not normally go for. So one such thing happened for me when I moved to this new job, new location, and I heard about this one class. Now the class is called Plants for Life, and I know you probably have guessed where I'm going with this. So the class that's run by a doctor, it's free to attend. We can go take a look, take a listen, and see what it's all about. Now, I've always been vegetarian, but I thought, okay, this will be just a rehash of probably what I already know. So I go for the class. The doctor unfortunately can't make it, but somebody else teaches the class who's probably even more passionate about Plants for Life. And she was a wonderful speaker, and I liked it. I was impressed with the data, with the evidence about how eating more plants can change your metabolism, can change your life experience. Now, remember, I had just transitioned to this new job, new location, and I had a lot of things going on, right? Not just learning something new, but also a lot of responsibilities that were going on the side. So I heard all of this. I was impressed by all this. I did not buy the book that was made available. It was not their own book. Somebody else's book was made available as a courtesy, but at a lower rate. I came home and, I reflected to others who had attended with me. This sounds nice. I don't think I can do this. I just was not in the right opportunity in life to actually inculcate the changes that they had outlined. A few months later, fast forward to, I think, February of 2020, when some friends in the local area decided to start a Plants for Life challenge. And then I was more like, maybe I should give this a try. So I tried it with them. They were very encouraging. They were very open with the recipes that they are trying and other things. So there was this time some social connection. There were many of us trying this challenge together. And I also had support at home, which is very important as well. And so I said, why not? Like maybe maybe we can do this. Maybe some of the few people at home can do it along with the other people in the community who are starting this challenge. So we did that for about 2 to 3 weeks. And well, you know what happened in March of 2020? The lockdowns happened. And guess what? Foods were still available in the grocery stores at that time. You guessed it. Plants were there. Everything else was taken. They were like off the shelves. So I'm like, you know what? This is more encouragement to continue eating plants. Maybe we can grow some plants so that we are not dependent on external food supply more this year. So I expanded a little bit into gardening at that time. I had tried some the year before, but 2020 I really expanded a lot and grew a lot more food in the garden. So my journey went on for another probably 6 months or so, where I continued being more planned forward because of whatever the privilege of change in schedules and other things, right? If you're working remotely and you have some time for lunch, you can probably mix that salad better than pre-preparing it and then trying to eat it at work. So, continued the idea of cooking whole food plant-based, saw the incredible changes in everybody's health parameters, be it thyroid levels, cholesterol levels, things that you wouldn't think would have changed. Like, we're still vegetarian, we're just eating differently. How is it making a difference? And it's something that you have to see it and feel it to believe it. So, there are certain resources that I found that were very helpful, especially understanding like what actually makes a salad. Is every salad the same? Answer is no. There are ways to look at not calories, but nutrition. So it's a concept of nutrient density. How dense is something nutritionally compared to the old approach of this is 100 calories, 200 calories, count your calories. Do you have to count calories aggressively? No. In fact, if you're planned forward, it's the last thing you have to worry about is calories because if you stick to the program. Now, if you do your own program, as we say in addiction, well, you're not going to have the results. So if you stick to the idea, it helps. Of course, it's not for everybody. It's only for people who have the right time, support, finances, privilege at that point in time to make the change. So this is very important. I was not ready at the time that I heard of this. And it came later almost because of the community, the social connection that helped me kind of cross that bridge that I wouldn't have without it. So that brings me to where is all this coming from? So it comes from lifestyle medicine. So when we think of lifestyle medicine, people will always, before I even say what is lifestyle medicine, people will come to me and give me their own ideas about lifestyle medicine. I know exactly what it is. You don't even have to open your mouth. You are not saying anything new. I know everything about it. We just have to watch our lifestyle. I follow 50 influencers about that. I know everything about it. And whatever, right? So the people have their own ideas. But what is exactly lifestyle medicine is this evidence-based approach to what we think may be lifestyle medicine. So it's not like, oh, we think lifestyle may be this. But does it get proven when the rubber meets the road? Is the evidence backing it up? And what are the evidence-based recommendations of what changes you can make into your lifestyle for remission or reversal of certain chronic diseases? That is lifestyle medicine. Now, where you can get more information is, of course, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. You can register, get the certification from a variety of sources, including American College of Lifestyle Medicine. If you're not a physician, also there are courses such as the online course from Cornell University and others, where you can get the information that you want about lifestyle medicine that is steeped in evidence to go. So what constitutes lifestyle medicine? Lifestyle medicine has 6 pillars or domains. So they are thus: first is nutrition, plant forward nutrition, a whole food plant based diet, avoidance of oil if possible. Next is physical activity. Now, given how life has changed, most of us have sedentary lifestyle, or we don't get exercise out of already physically tenuous work schedule for those of us who are very active. So, what does physical activity look like? How is the way to measure it? What are the recommendations? Number three is stress management. So, how do you develop healthy coping skills to manage the stress that modern life presents to us? That's also very important as a health parameter. I think my favorite, outside of the last one, is the sleep pillar. So, how do you get restful, really good quality sleep that's maybe 7 to 9 hours, that's helping you kind of be regenerated, renewed in the morning, and also help you sort of regulate your hormones, because amount of sleep you get will change the way you feel hungry or um, satiated through the day as well. Then the next pillar is connectedness or social connection. I just talked a little bit about it, how social connection played a role in my life. Very, very grateful for the community support that I have received that helped me go down this healthier lifestyle path. Connection is what is inherently very human. We are social beings. We like to connect with each other. Does the evidence prove that social connection matters? Yes. That's why it's one of the domains of lifestyle medicine. And the last is avoidance of risky substance use. As you know, that I have some information about avoidance of risky substance use, being working in the field of addiction, right? How substances are perceived over the centuries keeps changing. There's always a new fad, a new wonder drug, or a new cool thing to do. Once upon a time, it was smoking. Until now, also cool thing to do is alcohol. And then newer things continue to get repackaged and delivered to us in some way or the other. So, how do you avoid overuse of risky substances or even prevent the use of risky substances? Is the final pillar, because we know from data that if you quit smoking, it's probably one of the single most important things that you could do in your life to help you prevent disease and death. And so also now the newer evidence around alcohol that is emerging, when it used to be said you can drink up to a certain extent for certain benefits, that was like the myth that was propelled. But newer evidence suggests it's not really an indication to drink alcohol. So these are just the pillars in short. Now, over the years, the USDA and the HSS have put out guidelines for Americans, like what do you eat? Dietary guidelines. So last guideline was 2020 to 2025. And then there was a committee that was set up by these bodies that was independent, who looked at the evidence, and they have come up with advice to what the newer dietary guidelines should be. Now, this advice has to be processed by the departments and thought about what will be the final guidelines for 2025 to 2030. This is just done every 5 years. This is the first time that they are using something that we call a health equity lens. The idea that different people eat differently. Instead of putting them into buckets of Mediterranean diet, vegetarian diet, carnivore diet, what have you, it's how do you eat your way to health is the concept. Eat your way to health diet or eat your way to health, period. And that takes in account everybody's socioeconomic factors that, and if you are living in this part of town which does not have access to healthy foods, you're going to have much more difficulty getting access to those foods and also ability to afford. The reason you're living there is because you can afford to live there. That means your budget for food is also going to be less. Similarly, one of the first things you face, right, as a vegetarian in America at least 20 years ago was, so what do you eat? Where do you get your protein? I don't think there's much to eat from what you normally eat. So that was a big transition for me, right? Trying to learn to cook so that I can continue to be vegetarian. And this feels like I feel seen when I read these newer guidelines. This is beautiful. We understand that we all have different ideas of what a daily food can be. We have different ideas of health. What are the recipes that are handed down through the generations that may be better suited for our genetic makeup? May not be also. So it helps validate that I can use some of my traditional foods and understand how they play a role in my life. For example, they moved peas, legumes, and dals to the protein section in this 2025 advice where it was elsewhere before. And that feels, again, very validating, very seen. So, why am I bringing this up today? There are things we can do to grow differently in life. Maybe we explore some part of lifestyle medicine for ourselves. What are some of the resources? Of course, you can look at lifestyle medicine, American College of Lifestyle Medicine. You can look at nutritionfacts.org and follow Dr. Michael Greger, who is generally the guru in reading and digesting all the papers and giving you the Cliff Notes version. And there's this one handbook by Dr. Beth Frady's, the Lifestyle Medicine Handbook. And, it's not a sponsored video. I'm just showing you what I like. So this is the handbook I studied to take my boards, and I was very happy about it. It helped understand a new way. And of course, my co-authors and I had this book you see in the background. It's How Healers Heal. So it's a journey of 33 women physicians who discovered lifestyle medicine in their own life path for their own health and how they took it forward. Some of them are actually like cooking and teaching, like they have kitchens in residency programs, or they're just teaching the patients that they meet on a day-to-day basis, or they talk about their own health journeys. Beautiful stories. I think in the age of social media, we have become used to very bite-sized information, not much tolerance for longer information, and the art of storytelling is getting lost. We are human. We thrive on social connection. We thrive on our stories. So these are some stories that people have actually gone out and shared some of their most vulnerable moments. And I think that is beautiful in itself. So I am going to leave you with some thoughts. Are there areas in life that you would like to work on? Is there something you can do with a SMART goal? Maybe step out, maybe go for a walk, even in your backyard, for 20 minutes after dinner. That will help regulate your sugars. Or maybe just find one of these resources, give it a listen, and see what you feel about it. So until then, let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about. Please comment and also subscribe. And as we say in my language, Aujo, we shall meet again. Thank you for joining me today on Mindsattva, Practical Wisdom for Modern Life. If today's episode sparked something within you, I hope you share it with a friend who may need it too. We discussed some ideas and concepts. Let's take some time to observe them in nature or in daily life. Until then, let's stay curious, grounded, and remember that balance is not a destination, it's just a beginning. Let's meet again, or Aujo.